All right, y'all. Sisters, season 6, episode 17. Let's get into this recap. All right, y'all. We gonna pick up right where we left off, and that is with P pulling up to the airport, finding Dani and Tony giggling and talking and a kikiing. And Preston was like, what about me? And when I tell y'all, Dani thought she saw Preston ghost because she was spooked. And she turned around just guilty as ever. Hey, you, what you doing here? I like your vest. I like your shoes. And Preston was like, I came to leave a surprise in your car. And he takes this opportunity to introduce himself to Tony. And he like, I'm Preston. And Tony like, okay, I'm Tony. And he like, okay, Dani, I'm going to see you inside. And Preston was like, hold up. How long have you known her? And Tony like, oh, man, we work together. And Preston was like, oh, okay, and y'all was together last night? And Dani was like, what? He was like, I heard a lot. And she like, how long were you standing there? And he was like, long enough. And then he gonna say, I don't think so. Look, I gotta go inside so I don't be late. And Preston was like, okay, but we need to talk. And Dani like, yeah, but not here. And then Preston looked at Tony and was like, and why you still standing here? And Tony gonna say, because you told me to stay. Preston said, and now you can go. And then Tony gonna say, you know what? I think I'm gonna stay here so I can walk the lady to her station and make sure she get that safe. And Preston was like, boy, what? And then he was like, Preston, please don't do this. It ain't worth it. Tony, you can go inside. I'm going to be straight. And Tony talking about, I'm going to wait for you by the door so I can see you. So Preston like, so he can see you. Tony, baby, you look like you can fight, but I know Preston can fight. So don't do that because you're going to have to come on with the come on, period. So Preston is talking to Dani and he like, look, I'm going to come back on your lunch break so we can talk. And she like, no, don't do this at my job. We good. Don't worry about it. Girl, he just caught you cheating red-handed and you look as guilty as ever. And I don't know about y'all, but the look on Preston's face was given that he is over Dani and her shenanigans. My boy P has had enough and I think he is ready to move on. Now we head over to Miss Andy Barnes' office where Sabrina and Maurice just got the best news of their life. They don't have to go to jail. And Maurice know that he cannot do anything to pay Andy back, but offer her some fashion advice. He wants to get her together because he not feeling her fashion. Now, y'all know Andy, she don't got no comeback, so she changed the subject. And she like, Sabrina, get your best dress, girl, we going out. And Maurice tried to invite himself, but Andy was like, boy, you're not invited. And Sabrina just had to bring it up. She asked Andy, has Jordan called her? And he has not. But Rich, he texts Sabrina and he cannot wait to see her tonight. Now Andy over there all salty talking about she not gonna go because Jordan ain't text her so he don't like her and da-da-da-da-da. Girl, Sabrina and Dani went with you on your little blind date. They didn't have no man. So you can go with them and you can see Jordan and talk to him face to face about what's going on with the Gomazones. How about that, Miss Mamas? It ain't always got to be about you all the time. We are still in the law firm and Zach and Fatima are meeting with this lawyer about custody for baby Michael. And he said he gonna try to get an emergency hearing and tell the judge that the child is in danger. He also informed them that CPS ain't got no records of being called out to Heather's house. So somebody ain't doing their job because their neighbor definitely called. Now, Fatima and Zach done with their little meeting. They walks out in the hallway. They getting all flirty, little touchy-feely. And Hayden walks over. He wants them to meet Tamara. And Fatima like, nah. And Zach like, yeah. Now, they sit here playing in this man's face. Zach like, congratulations. You deserve her. Y'all look good together. She is beautiful. How long you know her? And Hayden like, the details don't matter. You don't need to worry about all that. And Zach like, okay, well, now that you got your girl, you can stay out of my situation. Oh, he ain't tell you how he be all up in me and my girl business. And now Hayden want to cut the meeting short. And Zach is like, I just want you to know that you really, really deserve her. Baby. Wait till Hayden find out. After the good news, Sabrina had to call her best friend Dani to tell her what's going on with the goings-ons. And Dani is a little off. And Sabrina immediately noticed it. And she like, what's wrong? And Dani act like she don't want to tell her. But then she end up telling her, talking about, oh, nothing. Same old Preston. He saw me with Tony and got jealous. I committed to one guy. And then I met the perfect guy. And Sabrina like, you don't know if Tony is the perfect guy. And she like, yeah, well, I never know because I'm dating Preston now. Girl, if you don't want to be with him, just say that, because you doing all that as if he is fitting you, like he holding you back. Girl, if you want to be with Tony, go be with Tony. And of course, Tony works at the airport, and he walks over to Dani because he got to say something. And he talking about how shocked he was. She seemed like she is a black woman who wants to be with a black man. And Dani acting like she offended. But then she ended up spilling her tea, talking about, oh, I met Preston. I thought he was cute. I thought he was different. And he like, are you still happy? And she like, are you happy with the person you dating? And he was like, I'm not dating anyone, but hopefully if everything go right, I'll be dating somebody soon. And yeah, she's still going to dinner at Jordan's house at 8 o'clock. Ciao, bye. We back at the law office. Fatima and Andy in the office talking, and Jordan calls. And Andy ignores his calls, so he calls again. But this time, Fatima picked up the phone, and she was like, here she go. And Andy trying to act like she don't know who Jordan is, but she was just playing with him. And he like, oh, okay, so you still coming tonight? And she was like, well, you didn't call, so I made other plans. And he was like, okay, look, I'm into you. I just didn't want to assume that you was into me. I just been in my head all day. You intimidating. I ain't never met a woman like you. And she like, oh, okay, so you just gonna assume that I ain't into you? And he was like, I'm just really sad you're not gonna make it tonight. And in comes Fatima in the background. She like, Andy, your dinner plans are canceled. So Jordan like, oh, so you free now? And she was like, yeah, I'm free. So she going to his house like we knew she was at 8 o'clock. So they hang up the phone and whatnot, and Andy gonna tell Fatima, like, girl, I was trying to play hard to get. And Fatima was like, girl, you need to stop playing games. And Andy said it's strange for her not to play games with man because she gotta make them work for it. Girl, where? And then she was asking Fatima, like, is she okay with all this drama with Zach and his baby mamas? And Fatima said, baby, that was before me. I'm sticking beside my man. I will walk through hell for him. Point blank, simple, and period. Worry about Gary and Jordan, Andy. Mind your own tea. Ooh, child, let's get into this. So apparently Sabrina had called Bayo over to talk to him, and he came over all happy. So Sabrina like, did you get your money back? And he was like, no. And she was like, oh, me and Maurice free, we clear. And he was like, that's really good. We should go celebrate. And Sabrina like, I don't think we should do that. And he was like, oh, you busy tonight? How about this weekend? And Sabrina was like, I'm busy every day. Thank you for everything that you did, but I can't get over how you treated my friend. And he was like, are you still holding that against me? And Sabrina was like, I am. And he was like, wow. And she was like, yeah, so thank you for everything. And before she could finish her sentence, he said, really, after everything I did for you, you what they call a trifling bitch. You a user. You used me. You think just because I got money, you could take advantage of me. So Sabrina like, that's not what I was doing. Like, you need to leave. And he was like, don't ever call me again. And she was like, I won't. And he was like, you bitch. And then Dani was at the door. And she was like, who a bitch? You a bitch, Bayo? And he was like, all you women in Atlanta is the same. And Dani like, boy, you finna get hit with this bottle. Ciao. Bayo is really hurt. And he left and whatnot. And Dani come over because they want to go to Jordan's house together. She ain't got no clothes to wear, but she gonna wear some of Sabrina's clothes because she said she don't want to go home and deal with Preston. Ooh, she trifling. Karen is at my baby daddy Zach's house dropping off some stuff, and he heard her. So he opened the door, and he was like, Karen, what's going on with the goings-ons? And she was like, I'm just dropping off some stuff for the baby. And he was like, you ain't have to do that. And she was like, last night I was an a-hole. How is it going with him? And Zach like, it's a lot. So she was like, okay, so you don't want to tell me. And she starts to walk away. And now Zach's spilling his tea. He like, oh, she took him. We got to go to court. And Cameron like, is she that bad? And he like, she's the worst. And she like, I'm sorry. He's so cute. He looks just like you. I feel bad about that. Hopefully everything work out, whatever. And he was like, I'm afraid to ask you this, but why you doing all this? And she said, oh, me seeing you with him just did something to me, even though you was with his mama when you was with me. And Zach like, I wasn't with her when I was with you. We broke up a lot of times in those 3 years. And Cameron was like, it don't matter no more. I'm tired of being stressed. And Zach is like, oh, the preacher man. And she was like, no, that's over. It's just going to be me and my baby. And he was like, well, that's good for you. And she said they're going to work on visitation. She brought the spirit of Jesus with her, and that's all I asked her to do. I'm proud of you, Karen. Fatima is home, and Zach has cooked. And Fatima like, did you cook or did Karen cook? Because I just saw her leaving. And he was like, girl, she was dropping off some stuff. What, you thought I wasn't going to tell you that she was him? And she was like, I was just checking. And he like, okay, did you hear anything from the lawyer? And she was like, nah, he supposed to be getting us an emergency meeting, but we don't know how long that's going to take. And Zach like, do you think that's going to work? And she like, I don't know. Do you want to just go get him? And Zach is like, and then the judge going to say, we kidnapped him. Let's just do this the right way. Let's just chill out. Like, you got to pick a side. You can't be good cop, then want to be bad cop. But they made an agreement. If they don't have a court date by the weekend, they going to get baby Michael, period. The ladies have made it to Jordan house, and the guys are happy to see them. They happy to see them, child. And Jordan like, the party is in the backyard. Let's go. Now, the men are catering to the women like, here, you go a drink, you get a drink, you get a drink. Everybody get a drink, child. And Jordan pulls Andy away, and he's like, let me introduce you to somebody. And he said, Andy, this is Gary. Gary, this is Andy. Baby, I could not wait till next week because I need to see what's going on with the goings ons. But anyway, y'all, that was that on that. I will be back next week to do a recap to episode 18, so come back for that. In the meantime, between time, watch the videos from my other shows. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's have a conversation down in the comment section below. Don't forget to follow me on all my social medias. I will link them down in the description box. And yeah, it's your girl, Cynthia Renee, and I am out of here, y'all. Peace.